Well, here we are, everybody, getting close to the end of our Nomad project. In fact, this is going to be the finale video. Wanted to show you guys where I'm at here with the final stages of getting this put together. I've been working on the very bottom section here, and you can see I've got everything all set up. I've got a nice little 3.5-inch coaxial speaker in there, so his voice has a nice rich full tone to it, gets nice and loud. You can see I've also got a nice lithium rechargeable battery in there, held in by a Velcro strap, so that can be pulled out and replaced later on. I did the math on this, and according to what we're drawing here, amperage wise, with everything turned on, this is that battery will be plenty enough to run this thing for a couple of days actually, and I'm sure my client's only going to be running this a few minutes at a time, so he's going to be able to go a long period of time in between recharging. I set up this nice little recharging port here. You can just remove this little kind of greeley, it's like a little pressure fit. We got our charging jack there, and we got our nice little charger here. Basically, you plug it in when the light turns green, it's fully charged, so he won't have to disassemble Nomad or anything like that. When he wants to recharge it, he can just basically sit on the shelf. What I did here also is I've got some rubber feet that I mounted on the bottom of it, so that way when he sets it on any kind of surface, it won't scratch it or anything. But we've got some holes drilled there in the bottom where the sound can come out, and it comes out of there nice and clear and nice and loud, so that worked out really good. And then my wife's got this nice little label maker here, so as I mentioned, we're going to have this modular, so when I ship it, it can all be put in pieces, and my client will just have to stack it up, and that way he can take it back down when he wants to or whatever, and that's going to work out really good. So I just use these quick connectors here. These are called JST connectors, and I put some nice little labels on there so he can see how each one of them plugs in, and these are nice because they only plug in one way. You can't plug them in backwards or whatever, so that's working out really good. Over here you can see we've got our electronic components. I decided to mount everything on this little plate because what I'm going to do is, after I get everything wired up here and connected together, I'll be able to just stick this up inside the main body and hot glue it in place, and I won't have to reach up in there in a confined area trying to hook up all these little wires and everything. So that's working out really good. We've got our soundboard here, we've got our remote control board from Tenna Controls, and we've got the lighting effects board. Now Ralph did some really nice features on this little board. He actually set this up with a 5-volt output, which, as we know, these little soundboards can't take any more than 5 volts, otherwise they'll burn up. So you can power up the soundboard directly off of this other board. Now I decided to go around that little option there because I wanted to set this up where the sound can actually be turned on without turning the rest of the model on. Otherwise we would have had to power everything up for that to work. So my client's got the option of just hearing the voice if he wants to, or he can turn the whole thing on. But what we've got here is we've got this little remote. Now we come over here and we turn our battery on. You can see you get the little red indicator light. That can basically stay on all the time. The battery is designed to do that. That LED in there doesn't draw anything, so that won't drag the battery down. If you're going to leave it for a really long period of time, I would recommend turning that off. But if it's just going to be sitting there, you're going to be using it, it's no problem at all. But so that's got everything activated here, and when we push our A button here, you can see we're getting our chaser effect. Now right now I've got 8 LEDs hooked up on here. I'm going to be hooking up 8 more. You can see we've got 2 more outputs on this, so we'll have a total of 16. So on the body of Nomad, we've got the 4 green lower panels, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting 4 LEDs on each panel, so we need a total of 16. And I'm going to go crisscross, so I'm going to glue each one in, one in each corner, like kitty corner to each other, so it gives that kind of nice little rotating effect. And they'll look like they're flashing a lot faster when the other 2 channels are hooked up, because this is just the first 2. There'll be a 3 and a 4, and it'll cycle back to the first one, so it'll give a nice, kind of a cool little chaser effect. And then also when you hit that button there, the main lights will come on the model, so the upper part will be lit, and then the lower part on top of this other lighting. Also, this is the voice emulator board, so on these little soundboards here, you can't use LED tape because they require 7 volts to light up. So we had I wanted to use LED tape, so I had Ralph design this board here. So what we're doing is we're bringing an output wire just off the speaker output of the soundboard. It comes in here and goes into this little board, and then we've got 2 other wires that come out that'll go to the LED tape that power at 7 volts. So it's like a little voice emulator thing. So whenever the voice modulates here on the soundboard, this will mimic that, and it will light up the LED tape to match. So that's a really neat little setup that Ralph did for me, so I really appreciate that, Ralph, if you're watching this. And so yeah, we're just about all set to go, you guys. I'm going to be finishing up adding the other 8 LEDs onto here. Then I'm going to get this mounted inside. We'll kind of show you the, we'll come back in a second and we'll show you the kind of final closing stages of getting all the wires tidied up. And you know, we'll do a little bit of testing to make sure everything's going to work. But we should be good to go. I've kind of double checked everything here, and I'm pretty happy with how everything's going right now. All right, well, let me get the final little touches of the wiring done here. We'll come back, we'll start doing the final little bit there, and then we'll get Nomad all stacked up, and we'll end the video with the... All right, so here we are, everybody. I've got everything pretty well wrapped up with our wiring and installing our boards in the Nomad body, so I just thought I'd show you this before we finish putting them all together and stacking them up for the final reveal here. You can see down inside here, I've got my little plate that I made with my control boards all put in place, just a little bit of hot glue down in there. Then we connected up the 16 LEDs that operate the chaser effect on the lower panels in green. And then we had to run a wire up to the top for the emulator to light up the upper panels here whenever the Nomad speaks. So everything is all set up really good. You can see what I did here, you guys, is I've got this set up where it can be modularly taken apart. We're not going to glue the top part or the bottom part here. We've got the magnets where we can get in here to replace the battery or shut the battery off and on. The testing I've done here, this battery lasts a long time. I've left it turned on for several days or whatever, and I've repeatedly you know, activated the lights and tried the sound effects, and over 3 or 4 days here it's holding up just fine. So I think the battery pack we use is going to work out really good. But we've got these nice little connectors here that we can, when my client gets this, he'll just be able to plug these in and then stack the, you know, the middle part onto the top, and then finish off at the top here just by connecting the jack here for the power to go up into the top, the upper part of the head here, and set that down in the slot on the top, and it'll be good to go. The sockets that these fit in fit nice and tight and everything, so it'll sit on a shelf just like that perfectly fine. So everything worked out really good. I love it when a plan comes together, you guys. So what I'll do now is I'll get them all stacked up, and we'll set them up on the bench here and show you the finished model with the all the voice effects and the lighting working. Be right back with that, everybody. Okay, guys, well, we're back here with the grand finale of Nomad. You can see I've got them all assembled. It only took me just a minute or two to do that and stand him up here, and he's looking really good. You can see he looks really impressive overall. It turns out that this model is actually not a one-to-one replica of the original prop. It's really close. I would say it's like a 7/8 scale. Only the most diehard Star Trek fans are going to know this isn't full size. Any casual observer is going to think it's the full-size prop. He's about 38 inches taller, so it's probably a little bit more practical that way anyway. He'd be a lot heavier and, you know, just more bulky and harder to find a place to put it if it was much bigger than this. But it turned out really nice. You can see we've got the nice colors on here matching the way he looked on the screen and everything. We've got the nice silver finish on his body, and then we've got the gray upper and lower, and then the, you know, the machined aluminum look at his head on the top here with the antenna and the little extending antenna that can come out. I showed you these can extend. These are actually really nice little metal, I think they're walkie-talkie antennas or something like that. So Jeff at 3D Trekker did a nice job with all the parts on this and the detail. We've got our little charging port down here. When the battery gets low, all my client has to do is take this off and plug in his charger and put this back when he's done, so we don't have to take it apart or anything like that. I've got little rubber feet mounted on the bottom of this so the sound can come out really good. Plus, if he sets it on any kind of hard surface, it won't scratch it or anything like that. So I think that was a nice little extra that we added on this. But without further ado, let's turn him on, guys, and show you what he can do. We've got this little remote control system from Tenna Controls. We hit the A button first, and you can see we get all of his panels lighting up. A couple things I'll explain here. We got the nice little chaser circuit in the bottom down there. And what my client wanted is he wanted to have these all in sync. So on all 4 panels, all 4 sides, you'll see that this is all working the same. They're not just random, which is really nice. And then up here at the top, we got these red and yellow panels. Now, the difference between this and the original prop was these only light up when he's talking, and my client wanted to have these lit all the time whenever he's turned on, so it gives more kind of a balanced lighting effect, and I think it does work pretty well. You can see it matches up nice with the eye up on the top and the the blue ring that we put along underneath of the crown there, which is a little extra thing he also wanted. I think that gives a kind of a nice modern touch to Nomad. So let's go ahead and activate his audio now. Now there's about I have a little over 2 minutes of dialogue here, so it's going to take a little while to run through it. So I hope you guys enjoy it, but I grabbed a bunch of stuff off the original episode with Nomad, kind of being a bossy little guy. So let's listen to that.
USS Enterprise, this is Nomad. My mission is non-hostile. Require communication and you leave your ship. Non-sequitur, your facts are uncoordinated. That will be satisfactory. I have the capability of movement within your ship. Relate your point of origin. Insufficient response. All things have a point of origin. I will scan your star charts. You are from the third planet, a planet with one large natural satellite. The planet is called Earth. You are the creator, the Kirk. The sterilization procedure against your ship was unnecessary. My function is to probe for biological infestations, to destroy that which is not perfect. I contain no parasitical beings. I am Nomad. There was much damage in the accident. It has changed since the point of origin. There was much taken from the other. I am perpetual now. Insufficient response. Non sequitur. Your facts are uncoordinated. This is one of your units, Creator. It functions irrationally. That unit is defective. Its thinking is chaotic, a mass of conflicting impulses. Mr. Spock is also one of your biological units, Creator. This unit is different. It is well ordered. I am programmed to investigate. There is much to be considered before I return to launch point. I must re-evaluate. You are in error. You are a biological unit. You are imperfect. I am perfect. I am Nomad. Answer unknown. I shall analyze. Analysis complete. Insufficient data to resolve problem. But my programming is whole. My purpose remains. I am Nomad. I am perfect. That which is imperfect must be sterilized. Error is inconsistent with my prime function. Sterilization is correction. There are no exceptions. The creation of perfection is no error. Your data is faulty. I am Nomad. I am perfect. Error. I shall analyze error. Analyze error.
And there you have it, everybody. Nomad has his little meltdown at the end. You know, I think Captain Kirk must have a chapter in the Starfleet Academy on how to manipulate computers into committing suicide. Must be basic training in Starfleet, because he did that several times over the original series. So pretty cool stuff, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can see the sound, or you can hear that the sound is coming through really nice on this too. I use that bigger 4-inch coaxial speaker, so we get a nice bass tone to that. It doesn't sound flat and tinny. He really produces nice sound in a room, especially it comes out nice in my shop here, but in a small room it's going to sound even better. So I'm really happy we worked hard on that and got that just right. So again, hope you guys enjoyed the build series here. I'll be probably coming back over the wintertime and building another one of these. I've got 2 of these kits, and I'm going to be building one for myself. And we'll see if we make a few changes here and there, or maybe we'll build it exactly the same, but I'm really looking forward to it, especially seeing how this one turned out. Again, hats off to Jeff over at 3D Trekker. He did an awesome job printing this out, and the overall engineering of it and everything is fantastic. And it was a pleasure to work on it. So it'll be shipping off to my client, and I'm sure he's going to be really happy with it. Okay, you guys, well, I'll be back probably middle of the week. I'm going to be starting a new model building project on the channel. It's sci-fi related. I've been printing off a couple little model kits that I think you guys will be interested in. Something you don't see every day. Something that was kind of popular back in the 80s. So we'll just kind of leave you guessing on that. And then we're going to have an update on the DeAugustini Ford GT40 kit too. I've got several parts packs that came in for that. We got to get you caught up on that one. So until we see you next time, everybody, take care out there and happy modeling.